Hi, welcome to yoga. My name is Kirsten. Go ahead and join me seated on the mat. I do recommend sitting up on a folded up blanket or cushion today. Have that handy for some of our stretches. It's nice to have that for like kneeling on too. So maybe grab a blanket, get comfy, take a nice seat. Practice today is for sore muscles. So maybe you've been exercising or walking or doing something that is maybe out of your normal routine. And of course, that can be a little bit of a shock to the muscles. So let's take some care of them today. Give them a nice, gentle stretch and make this a good recovery day. All right, so starting with legs crossed, we're just going to let the knees kind of bounce a little bit. So I've heard this called like butterfly wings, just kind of moving the knees up and down, getting some motion into the legs, getting comfy. Might have been uncomfortable getting into a seated position to begin with, so let's just bring a little bit of gentle movement into the legs. And start to pay attention to your breath too. So inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Good, and relax the knees. Bring the hands to rest on them. Drop your chin to your chest, lengthening the back of the neck. Continuing to breathe through the nose. Then start to draw circles with your nose. So imagine your nose is creating a circle like a clock face. So rolling the neck, but not really crunching the back of the neck so much. Just kind of opening the front, sides. Good, and reverse. Good, and come back to center. Start to move the shoulders up and down, maybe rolling the shoulders up, back, down, and forward. And reverse directions. Excellent. Inhale. And give it a good sigh out of the mouth. Settling in. Bring the arms out to the sides, really reaching the fingertips to either side of the room. Nice long stretch through the arms. Going to close the hands into fists, bend the elbows, and bring the elbows back behind the back. So elbows come back, almost like you're pulling back on a string in front of you. Feel those shoulder blades draw together along the spine. Good, and then reaching long, left and right. And bend the arms, pulling back. And bring some breath to this movement. So open, inhale. And bend the elbows. Exhale. Inhale, stretch. And exhale, pull back. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, pull back. Inhale, stretch. And exhale, release the hands back to the lap. Now we'll start to do a little bit of seated cat-cow, so rounding the spine and then flexing the spine. Bring the hands clasped in front of the body, reach forward, and then allow the spine to start to round, drawing the belly button back towards the spine. Drop the chin to the chest. Good. And then drop the hands to the lap. Gaze up towards the ceiling, allowing the front of the body to open. Cow. Again, I'll turn sideways so it's easier to see. So clasp the hands and start to round the back like a C curve. Cat. Then hands to the knees, looking forward, slight arch to the back. Good. Now very slowly start to bring the breath with this. So exhaling as you round, and then inhaling as you open. Good. 3 more rounds of breath here. Good. And come back to a neutral spine. Now bring the hands to rest on the shoulders, just the fingertips resting on the shoulders here. Nice light touch. We'll start to very gently twist the shoulders back and forth. So twisting the torso, bringing a little movement, waking up the upper back. Allowing the arms to be really light and loose. Maybe they start to move with this motion. And find your own breath pattern here. So maybe you're inhaling, exhaling really fast with each turn, or maybe it's nice, long, slow inhales and long, slow exhales. Find what works for you today. We'll stay with this for another 10 seconds. Good, and start to slow down and come back to center. Release the hands to the lap. Take a nice deep cleansing inhale through the nose. And a nice deep exhale through the nose. Good, now take whichever foot is in front. So for me, it's my right foot. Plant that foot right on the floor, bringing the knee up towards the chest. Hug that knee in and bring the right hand or that same hand behind the body and start to twist to the right. Really gentle twist here, just really starting to wake up, open up the back, open up the hips. Good, and come back to center. Now bring the opposite foot in front. Bend the knee, hug the knee into the chest, and twist. Staying with the breath. And come back to center. Now keeping that left foot in front and keeping that left knee bent, I'm going to take the right leg and straighten it out to the right side. We're going to go into a very easy kind of pigeon. We don't want to overdo it right in the beginning of the class, but what we're going to do is start to turn to face the left, allowing the right foot to turn upside down. So that's why I like having the blanket under you to sit on, because that support is right there for your hip. So just really easy, kind of staying in this side pigeon here. Gaze is up, looking straight ahead. And really keep this bent leg nice and close. So again, we want to really kind of an easier version, more challenging or deeper stretch would be to move the foot away from the body. But at this point, we're still warming up. So let's stay nice and close. Good, and turn back to face the front. Now keeping that same leg straight, the right leg straight, turn to face the big toe and start to walk the hands down that leg, coming into a fold, nose to knee over the right leg. With each breath, with each exhale, see if you can notice some of the muscles that maybe feel tight starting to just release a little bit of that tension. And then walk the hands up the leg, come back up to a seat. And we'll switch sides. So bend the right leg, straighten the left. Start to shift over the right leg, so allowing the left leg to turn upside down, knee down, toes down, and pigeon on the right. And coming back to face forward, turning the left toes up and shifting the gaze over the left toes, nose to knee on the left. And walking the hands up the leg and back up to a seat. Extend the right leg, so we've got a nice wide stance here. And start to fold forward, so maybe walk the hands forward along the floor, wide leg forward fold, toes pointing up towards the ceiling, dropping the head last. Really holding your body weight at a point where you're not overstretching the backs of the legs. So if this is very strong into the legs, maybe bend the knees a little bit and drop the head. It doesn't have to be a deep stretch, especially this early on. We're just starting to really try to give the muscles a little bit of chance to relax. And as you're ready, start to walk the hands back up, come back up to a seat. We're going to move into tabletop, hands and knees. So I'm going to keep the blanket that I've got here. I'm just going to open it up a little bit so I've got more surface area. And tabletop, we'll do some cat and cow stretching. So dropping the belly, looking forward, feeling that arch in the spine again, and then rounding the back and dropping the head, cat. Inhaling, looking forward, cow, and exhaling, dropping the chin to the chest, cat. Inhale, looking forward, and exhale, rounding the back. And follow your own breath for 3 more rounds here. And come back to tabletop. Now, take the right foot and turn it out to about 45 degrees. Straighten the left leg along the floor, planting the right hand. Bring the left arm up and over, open gate. Maybe let the head drop towards the floor, play around with what head position feels good for you in this position here. Nice long line from the fingertips to the foot, stretching out that left side. Good, and dropping the left hand, drop the left knee, and switch sides. So bring the left foot out to 90 degrees. Straighten the right leg, and right arm up and over, open gate. Good, drop the right hand, right knee. Sit back on the heels. Just roll those wrists out a little bit, open and close the hands. Release any wrist tension. And make our way back into tabletop. Walking the left hand a few inches forward on the mat. We'll take the right arm right underneath the left armpit, dropping the right shoulder to the mat, threading the needle, stretching out the shoulders. You can play around here with maybe walking the left hand out further, nice big stretch along that arm, or maybe even take the left hand to the low back. Good, planting the left hand back on the mat, come back up to tabletop, and other side. So walk the right hand forward a few inches, thread the needle on the left, dropping the left shoulder, left side of the head to the mat. Good. Plant the right hand on the mat and press back up to tabletop. Excellent. So we'll take the right foot and start to walk it forward between the hands, coming into a really low lunge. So keeping the back knee down. Again, I like having the blanket there for support. We'll bring the arms, swoop the arms forward and up, And as we do so, we're going to press the hips forward just a few inches. And then dropping the arms, come back up to 90 degrees. So inhale, arms go up, hips go forward. And exhale, pressing back. Inhale. And exhale. And 3 more rounds. Good. Now come back to center and start to press the hips all the way back, straightening the front leg. Toes can come up off the mat. Bring the hands down to the mat for support, and nose falls down towards the knee. And pressing the weight forward into that foot. Bring both hands to the mat, nice and solid. Plant those palms. And then raise the back knee up. And then drop it down. Raise the knee up. And drop it back down. More, raise the knee up. And this time stay up. Planting the left hand nice and solid on the mat. Raise the right arm. Lunge, twist. Drop the right hand, drop the back knee, and then walk that back foot all the way back, meet the left, press the hips all the way back, drop the head to the mat, child pose. Coming back up to tabletop. Other side, so we'll bring the left foot forward between the hands. Planting the back knee nice and solid. Swoop the arms up, pressing the hips forward. Inhale and exhale. Hands back by the sides. Inhale forward. And exhale, drop the arms. 3 more rounds here. Good, and this time pressing the hips back. Hands come on either side of that front foot. Toes come up and nose to knee. Bending the front knee, coming back into that lunge. Plant the hands and lift the back knee and drop it down. And lift it up and drop it down. And lift it up. Stay here. Raise the left arm, twist. And drop the left hand, up the back knee. Come back to a tabletop. This time take the knees nice and wide, about as wide as the mat. Big toes come together. Press the hips back, wide child. Now coming back up to tabletop, make your way to sit on one hip. You can maybe move the blanket out of the way. I don't think we'll need it for a few minutes here. Now bringing both knees the same direction, so bending both knees, both feet are pointed one way, knees the other way, deer pose. We'll just stay here and find this center for a moment. So dropping the left hip, trying to bring some equal stance into both hips. Nice deep breathing through the nose. And then we'll start to bring some movement to this. So bring the right hand to the mat, flip the left hand down, around, and up. And as you do, come up onto the knees just very briefly, and then come back down and allow the right arm to come across in opposition. And we'll keep going back and forth there. So coming up off the hips on the right, sitting back down, right arm up. And find a breath pattern that works for you. Maybe inhaling as you lift up and exhaling as you cross the arm over. Good. And come back to still. Draw the knees up, switch over to the opposite side. Once again, let's settle in here. Just take a moment, letting that right hip drop. Nice deep breath through the nose. And exhale. On the next inhale, plant the left hand down. Flip the right arm up and over, lifting the hips. And exhale, come back to a seat. Left arm comes across. And follow your own breath. And come back to center. You're going to bring both feet flat to the floor and start to come up into a squat. So it doesn't really matter exactly how wide the knees are, just kind of coming up off the ground for a minute, finding this squat pose that works for you. And then drop the hands. I'm going to just turn sideways here. So drop the hands to the mat. And very slowly, in your own time, start to straighten the legs, allowing the head to fall down, forward fold. And just hanging here. Maybe grabbing opposite elbows or holding onto the floor or hands to the shins, whatever feels good today. Dropping the crown of the head towards the floor, opening the back of the body, and breathing. Then now bring the hands to the hips, bend the knees slightly, and very, very slowly start to roll the spine up to stand. So one vertebra at a time, starting from the base of the tailbone, stacking one vertebra at a time, allowing the head to be the very last to come up. Really taking your time here. Maybe giving the shoulders a good roll, hands by the sides. Tadasana. Keeping the feet hip width. Tadasana. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Head grows nice and tall. On your next inhale, bring the arms all the way up overhead. Look up towards the ceiling. Nice big stretch, and allow the arms to come back to the sides. Exhale. Inhale, arms overhead. Drop the left arm and reach the right over. Side stretch. Good. Left arm back up, look towards the ceiling, and drop the right arm. Left side stretch. Good. Right arm back up. Stretching really tall towards the ceiling. Reach, 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 and release the arms by the sides. Take a step forward with the right foot, turning the back foot to about 45 degrees. Maybe widen the stance just a little bit more and start to bend the right leg towards 90 degrees. Bring the arms forward and back, warrior two. Make sure the torso is nice and straight up rather than, we're not leaning, we're parallel here, 90 degrees, or perpendicular rather, words. All right. And on your next inhale, straighten the front leg, arms come up. And exhale, bend the knee, arms back to warrior two. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Follow your own breath, 3 more rounds. Good, and hold, warrior two, gaze across the front right fingertips. Drop the left hand, reach up overhead, peaceful warrior. And come back to warrior two. Dropping the right hand to the right knee, swoop the left hand down, forward and up, side angle. And come back up to warrior two. Straighten the front leg. This time leaning forward, reach, 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 reach until you can't lean any further, and then allow the arms to windmill down, triangle, Trikonasana. Good, bend the front leg, come back up to warrior two for just a moment, and then drop the arms and heel toe the feet back together. Tadasana, roll the shoulders, allow the arms to drop, hands dropping towards the floor, crown of the head growing nice and tall. Take just a moment to recenter, mountain pose. And when you're ready, taking a step to the left, opening the legs nice and wide, turning the back feet to 45 degrees, bending the front knee to 90, and warrior two on the left. Moving with the breath, inhale up, and exhale, bend. Inhale up, and exhale, down. And 3 more rounds. And hold, warrior two. Drop the right hand, peaceful warrior. And come back to warrior two. Drop the left arm to rest gently on the left knee and swip the right arm around, side angle. Nice long line all the way from the fingertips to the foot. And come back up to warrior two. Straighten the front leg. Reach, reach, reach. And windmill down into triangle trikonasana. Good. Bend the front knee. Come back to warrior two. Straighten the front knee. Turn both toes out and just pause, star pose. Really filling up space, feeling the strength and power of this pose. Nice stretch all across the arms, stretching the legs, stretching the body. Nice big inhale and exhale. Drop the arms and walk the feet back in Tadasana, mountain pose. This time bringing the feet right together if that's comfy. Hip width is also fine, but play around with how that is a little bit different, bringing the feet right together. Ankles touching. And pause for a moment. Just breathing, recentering. Good. Inhale, bring the arms all the way up overhead, looking up towards the ceiling. Again, micro back bend, just starting to push the hips forward, allowing the front of the body to open. And release the hands back by the sides, Tadasana. You're going to start to sit back as if you're sitting into a chair pose, bringing the arms up for balance in front of you. Maybe allow the big toes or all the toes to raise up off the mat. That tends to give me a little bit better balance. And just holding. Good. And straighten the legs, drop the arms. Tadasana. Going to start to bring the weight into the right foot. And we're going to bend the left knee. And if you can, grab that left foot or ankle, just holding onto that foot behind you, allowing that left knee to still point straight down towards the ground. This is a prep for dancer pose. Whoops. So holding this. Nice stretch for the front of the left thigh. If you'd like to bring the right arm up overhead, try that out. With balancing poses, find a drishti, an unmoving point of focus to help keep the balance. Good. Let go of the leg, drop the arm. And other side. So bending the right leg, grab a hold of the right foot, arm up overhead, just stretching the front of the right thigh. And keep breathing. Word to the wise, don't look at me when you're trying to balance. When I move, it will throw you off. All right, releasing the foot, releasing the arm. Bring the weight back into the right foot. We're going to just point the left toes behind as kind of a kickstand to start. Arms come up and overhead. And you can stay here. Or if you'd like to start to hinge forward at the waist, bringing the left foot up off the ground, keeping the arms and left foot in a straight line. Warrior three. Gaze is on the floor, maybe a couple feet in front of the balancing foot. Keep breathing. Good, and releasing the foot, coming back up to stand. Shake that out, shake the feet, roll the ankles. Get ready for the other side. Weight comes into the left foot, kickstanding the right, arms overhead. Again, stay here if you'd like, or start to hinge forward, bringing the right foot off the mat. Good, and release the foot and the arms, come back up to Tadasana. Again, roll the shoulders, shake the wrist, roll the ankle, shake the feet out. Nice deep breath in and out through the nose. And our last balance pose, we'll do a full dancer. So once again, weight into the right foot, start to bend the left leg. Grab the left ankle. Now for full dancer, I like to grab the inside of the foot. So you can imagine putting your hand out like this and then catching the foot into the palm. Once again, you can stay here if this is enough, or bring the arm up overhead, and then start to hinge the body forward, kicking the foot into the hand as you do. Royal Dancer. Good, and slowly come back up to stand. And switching sides, bending the right foot, catching the inside of the right ankle or foot, and stay here or start to hinge forward, pressing that foot into the hand. Good, and slowly coming back to stand. Taking a little bit of a wide stance, just a little bit wider than hip width, but not super wide. We're just going to kind of shake everything out. So start to shift the weight back and forth from one foot to the other. And let the arms be loose. Let the arms start to swing with the movement. Start to make this movement a little bit bigger. The arms really circling around. Giving a nice little pat to your front and back as they come to the end of each side. And keep breathing. Good. Start to slow this down. Coming back to stillness, Tadasana. One more inhale, arms up overhead. And exhale, arms back by your sides. And now make your way to sit on the mat. So however you'd like to get there, go ahead and have a seat. Legs straight, staff pose. It can be handy to bring the blanket underneath the knees for support if that's too strong, or sitting on the blanket is sometimes comfy too. So find your comfy seat here, staff pose. And when you're ready, start to walk the hands down the legs, reaching towards the shins, the ankles, maybe even the big toes. Forward fold, nose to knees. And start to walk the hands back up the legs, coming back to seated position. Now bend the left knee, bringing the left foot to the inside of the right leg. And forward fold, nose to knee over that straight right leg. Excellent. Come back up to a seat. Take this bent knee, bring the knee up, plant the foot on the floor, plant it about a foot away from the leg so it's a little bit outside. And you're going to bring the arm to the inside of that bent knee. Start to reach forward as far as you can with that left arm, and then we're going to try to wrap the left arm around that knee. So this is a really weird one, but it's good for you, so they say. And then take the right arm around behind and see if you can reach towards those left fingertips. Maybe you're resting the left hand on the lower back, maybe grabbing the back of your shirt. But imagine that the fingertips are reaching towards each other as if they could touch and hold this bind. And drop the head. There may not be much of an actual forward fold here, but just dropping the head, bowing the head, lengthening the back of the neck. Beautiful. Come back up, let go of the wrap there, and then bring this same foot nice and close to the straight leg, hugging that knee into the chest. Bring the left hand behind you and twist, looking over the left shoulder. Inhaling, growing nice and tall, and exhaling, releasing into the twist a little bit deeper. Coming back to face forward, straighten that left leg. Maybe shake it out a little bit. And switch sides, bending the right leg. Bring the sole of the foot to the inside of the straight left leg. Knee is falling down towards the floor. And nose to knee, forward fold over the left leg. And walk the hands back up, come up to a seat. Bring that knee up, plant the foot wide outside the leg. Bring the right arm to the inside of that knee. Reach forward, and then wrap the right arm around the right knee, reaching the left arm behind you, imagining you can grasp the right fingertips, and drop the chin. Beautiful. Let go of the wrap. Bring that foot nice and close. Hug the knee into the chest and twist over the right shoulder. Good. Coming back to face forward, straighten the leg, shake the legs out. Excellent. So shift the weight to, let's see, how do we want to say this? Bend the left knee. There we go. We're going to move into a pigeon, a full pigeon. So bending the left knee, we're going to do the same as we did in the beginning of class. So start to swivel around to the top of the right knee and right foot, resting on the mat. Left knee is bent. And if you still have that folded up blanket, I do recommend bringing that underneath the left hip for support. So make sure that you're sitting back onto that blanket or a block or something for support. And you can stay up like we did before, just kind of holding the torso up facing forward. Or if you'd like to start walking the hands forward and start to bend the elbows and drop the head towards the floor. Pigeon. And using the hands to press the floor away, coming back up to a seat and switch sides. So bend the right knee, straighten the left leg, turn so that the left knee is down, left foot is down. Maybe adjust the blanket so that it's good support for that right hip, and drop the head towards the mat, pigeon on the right. I'll press the floor away, come back up to a seat, move that blanket out of the way, and make your way to lie back on the mat on your back. Bending the knees, planting the feet nice and close to the body. Bring the arms up overhead and raise the hips up into a little bit of a bridge. Just hold, stretching the front of the torso, front of the hip flexors. And release the hips back to the floor. Bring the arms by the sides. Hug the knees into the chest and rock back and forth, pressing the low back into the floor. Good. Now drop the left foot to the floor. Straighten the right leg towards the ceiling. You can hold on behind the shin, behind the thigh, Wherever's comfy, maybe even reach for the big toe. Grab the big toe with the first 2 fingers. And you can hold here or lift the head and shoulders off the mat, reaching the nose towards the knee. Good, and release the torso, let go of the leg. Bring the right foot down, straighten the left leg. Once again, grab the back of the leg, big toe, and lift the nose towards the knee. Only do this if it's comfortable on the neck. If it's too much on the neck, just drop the head and shoulders back to the floor. Go and release the leg, drop the foot back to the floor. Now shift the hips over to the right side of the mat, dropping the knees to the left. And open the arms out to a T. If you'd like, look over the right shoulder, little twist here. Yeah, and lift the knees up. Walk the hips over to the left side of the mat, dropping the knees to the right. Twist. And lifting the knees up, back to center. Move into final rest, Shavasana. So you're welcome to stay here with knees bent, maybe widen the feet, constructive rest. Or if you'd like to bring the soles of the feet together, opening up the hips, sometimes that can be really comfy, butterfly. Or straighten the legs along the mat. Bring the arms by the sides, palms face up, allowing the feet to just fall to either side with gravity or internally rotate whichever way the feet want to fall. Looking for full relaxation, so allowing the weight of the entire body to just relax into the floor. Imagine the whole body is just releasing tension. Any soreness melts away, any tightness melts away, any holding is released for now. Relax the jaw, relax the muscles of the face, relax the neck and shoulders. Feel all weights are lifted. No need to hold on to anything right now. Just allowing the whole body to be still. Starting to bring awareness back into the room. Starting to deepen the inhale and the exhale. Bring some movement into the fingers and the toes. Roll the wrists and the ankles. Reach the arms up overhead. Big full body stretch all the way from the toes to the fingers. And start to roll over onto the side. Just pause for a moment here. And when you're ready, using the arm to press up to a seat. If you'd like, bringing the palms together, Anjali Mudra, balancing the left and right hemispheres of the brain, finding balance in the end of our practice, allowing the eyes to close for just a moment. Nice deep inhale through the nose. Nice deep exhale through the nose. Thank you so much for joining me for yoga today. Be well. Namaste.